Got it? Okay. Thank you, Grace, very much. It can be a surprising fact. I have a couple, I looked some things up. Some of these are pretty interesting. The Pentagon has twice as many bathrooms as are necessary. I have no reasoning for that. Why? Why would military leadership need more bathrooms? Makes zero sense. Rabbits can't pass gas. Under extreme high pressure, diamonds, don't write these down, can be made from peanut butter. Did you know that? Did you know that under extreme high pressure, your body can be made into a diamond? Isn't that weird? I know.
Actually, like how?
I have heard, this is quite true, I have heard of someone putting it in their will that they want their body cremated and turned into ashes, carbon ashes that have a diamond made for each of their children. Yeah.
That's awesome. I heard that there's this company where if you get like a ton of hair cut, you can send them some hair and they can make that into, I don't know if it's I think it's a diamond.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, you'll, I guess, stay forever around your son's ring or your finger or something. I don't know. It's just weird. I'm not doing that. In Pakistan, Pakistan does not give children a legal right to free education. That could lead into a good essay on education. A duck's quack, does it echo? I'm not real sure what kind of essay you would write about that, but it's a good hook. If you point your car keys at your head, it increases the remote signal range. It says to go right here. And like if you go out in a mall and you can't find your car, if you go right here and you click it, it increases the range. All I know is that the police use it. Odd, huh? Okay, typewriter is the longest word you can make by using the letters on only one row of the keyboard. I know. How did I come up with that one? All right. Oh, more surprising facts. Women blink nearly twice as much as men. A crocodile cannot stick out its tongue. A snail can sleep for 3 years. Babies are born without kneecaps. I guess it comes when they're like 5 months old. A dragonfly's lifespan is about 24 hours, so don't kill dragonflies. They're dying anyway. If the population of China walked past you in single file, the line would never end because of the rate of reproduction. I found that fascinating. That would lead into a very good essay on population or China or whatever you're doing. So find facts. Believe me, if you look in under your search browser and you come up with your essay, you say similes or say facts about it, fun facts, you will find them. They make such fun hooks. You want your essay fun to write, and boy, do I want them fun to read, okay? Maine is the only state with just one syllable name. You all are trying to go, Washington, no, I don't know. California, no. And there are 293 ways to make change for $1. That would go great into a financial essay. They're out there, find it. Begin with a surprising fact, or begin with an anecdote, which is a short scene or a story from personal experience, and also can be from somebody you know. I went and I looked at some books and some essays they wrote on it. This was when yesterday morning I watched as my older sister left for school with a bright white glob of toothpaste gleaming on her chin. Now that could lead to some interesting thing. You don't have to say any more than that. You just caught their attention. Guess what book this is from? Oh, I would never dream of assuming I know all Hogwarts secrets. Only this morning, for instance, I took a wrong turn on the way in the bathroom and found myself in a beautifully proportioned room I had never seen before. What book is that? Harry Potter. But that is an anecdote. This is how I found it. He was telling a little story. This is from a classic book. In my earliest memory, my grandfather is bald as stone, and he takes me to see the tigers. That's how she began the story, and it led into her childhood. Wonderful anecdotes. As these were two that I have. As I received my first hospital bill, I realized how important my choice for medical insurance had been. Cancer just about puts you under. And then if you have it twice with chemo and radiation, it really puts you under. My first awareness that my dog had gotten outside was hearing the screeching of brakes. That was very sad. But that is an anecdote, and you know where that essay is going. Okay, so you guys with me on that? You understand anecdotes on it? Okay, let me get caught up here. Okay, another one for that hook. It can be a quotation. This is an anonymous one, but I liked it. There are 3 things you can do with your life. You can waste it, you can spend it, or you can invest it. Again, look through your browser and say quotations on life. And you can pretty much find any of them. If you can find the name, you want to include it. One of my favorite ones that I quote a lot is Abraham Lincoln. You can moan because a rose has thorns, or you can rejoice because a thorn has roses. And I've always liked that one. Or it goes hand in hand with I moaned because I had no shoes until I met a man who had no feet. Quotations are incredible ways to catch somebody's attention. This is one I wanted to throw in there because I wanted you to know you could use a quotation from somebody else. Fog is just clouds that have fell down. Dylan, age 6. But it caught your attention, right? And that's what the hook is. Time flies like an arrow, fruit flies like a banana. Do you get it? Okay, I'm gonna let it sit there. Do you get it? Say, oh, when you get it. You got it? Good, Bryce, thank you. Fruit flies like bananas. Okay, got it. I like that quote. Okay. 99% of failures come from people that make excuses. George Washington said that. I like that one too. You have to think anyway, so why not think big? President Trump. Okay? It can be a rhetorical question. You know what rhetorical questions are? Ones you ask and you really aren't expecting a good answer. Do you want to be a failure for the rest of your life? Answer that. Samuel, answer that. Do you want to be a failure? There is no answer. What's love got to do with it? If a tree falls in a forest and no one is around to hear it, does it make a sound? Okay, what's the answer to that? I don't know. How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? Do you know how much? 790 pounds a day. I know, I looked it up. If you could say one thing to the BLM movement, what would you say? Use this, what? I have good ears.
Yeah. I'm not thinking on that, but I had an idea.
What would you say?
That you guys can do it, but like less, like with less. It's not really danger, but like taking into action where it's really positive harm to others.
Yeah. It makes somebody think on it. There's a lot of rhetorical questions out there now. Okay. Let's turn the page here. It can be a statistic. Statistics can be fun too if you want. 40% of cell phone owners say having their cell phones help them in an emergency. Make it interesting. If you're writing a paper about dogs, come up with ways that dogs are different than cats. Or about 90% of all people live in the northern hemisphere. I found that fascinating. I want to go live in Antarctica. 0.03% of solar energy from the Sahara is enough to power the whole of Europe. – 45% of Americans think that ghosts and demons are real. If I had you raise your hand, less than half of you would agree with that. You think that would, how many would be there? There's 23 people in this room. That would mean that at least 10 people believe in ghosts. Do you think that's true in this room? How many believe that's true? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's try it. How many of you believe that ghosts and demons are real? Raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Still less than half. Good job. Okay, that's accurate then. Huh?
It could be skewed by the fact that we're all Christian, most likely.
It says demons too, though.
Yeah, but like you can believe in those while still being Christian.
Exactly. 1 in 4 Americans surveyed thought the sun goes around the earth. I don't want to try that one here because it would scare me. So I'm not going to ask you that question. I'm going to assume. This one got me because this one is true. Getting hired at Walmart is harder than getting into Harvard. The percentage of those that apply at Walmart and get in is much lower than the percentage of those that apply at Harvard and get in. Isn't that fascinating? Can you imagine what one that goes to? Yeah. Are we okay?
Is that the same statistic as like the number of people who apply versus get in? Because I feel like it could be skewed by the fact that Walmart may not be hiring, but people still think, hey, I can work at a Walmart.
Well, it says getting hired.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, I wonder how many people apply to Walmart and they just say no because they don't need people.
Yeah, who knows? But it's harder to get into Walmart than Harvard. I thought that was fascinating. Okay, hooks can also be an emotional appeal, a question. Which way are you going to vote? Have you ever told your mom you weren't going to help her with dishes or whatever? A challenge. A joke or riddle would be good. It's got to apply to what you're doing, what your essay is about. An exclamation, boom, could be a great beginning to an essay if you use it so it applies to your essay. But it could be a brilliant opening line, and I found a couple here. Call me Ishmael. What's that an opening line to?
Moby Dick.
Yeah, how'd you know that?
My brother read it for a class.
That's good. Yep, Call Me Ishmael. This is my favorite book in all the world, though I have never read it. 2020 has been an interesting year. You can see how it's immediately going to lead into a really quality essay, right? All those hooks, you're going to want to read it. So be creative. Okay, you got it? Can we move on from hooks? We're going to go into overview. Okay, follow your hook with an overview statement that leads into your thesis. Okay, and there's 2 ways we can do it. Example 1, your essay is on the dangers of smoking. You have used a statistic to hook your audience, and now you write. There are still those who cannot quit smoking despite the government's ban of advertising, businesses' ban on smoking near their doors, and the cost of cigarettes rising exponentially. Do you see your 3 main paragraphs are mentioned in there? You can mention it in the overview like that. Any questions on that one? It doesn't matter. I don't care where you put your 3 paragraph topics, but they've got to be either in the middle, the overview, or in your thesis, not in your hook. So you do not open your essay with the 3 things, okay? And you know what I mean by the 3 main paragraphs, your topics? Okay. All right, in this example, the 3 main paragraphs of your essay are mentioned. This is the most usual place. It's usually pretty hard to get the 3 main things into your thesis statement. Example 2, your essay is on your decision whether to buy a dog or a cat. Your hook was a statistic about dogs. Your statement reads, as I consider the pet I would like to have to share my life, there we go. Based on the statistics, I have chosen to get a dog. And then therefore you've got to have the 3 things in your thesis. In that example, the 3 main paragraphs of your essay are not mentioned. They will be part of the thesis. And your thesis, because of its great loyalty, its ability to protect, and its great companionship, a dog is the best choice for a pet. I happen to believe that a thesis standing alone is much stronger, but you can do it this way. And we'll get into it when we talk about thesis, how to write a really strong one. Okay. I didn't give you any more examples. Do you need other examples about how to do that tying sentence? It's pretty easy, but no questions? Okay, let's move into the thesis. This is the hardest thing to write. There's rules about how to write a thesis statement. It usually appears at the conclusion of the introductory paragraph of a paper. There are some professors that will say you don't have to. I say you do. I want to always be able to find your thesis. Okay? So always make it that last sentence if you would. Unless I give you room differently. It offers a concise summary of the main point or claim of the essay. It's usually expressed in one sentence. A thesis should not go into 2 sentences. It's just not correct. And we'll talk about why. It contains the topic and the controlling idea. Always answers the prompt. On your outline, I think that was the most thing I commented on. Your first introduction, you just quoted the prompt. It has to answer the prompt. You don't have to set up a thesis statement in your outline, but you do have to answer the prompt. Wildfires are caused by, and then you list them, okay? Because if you just quote the prompt, that's not going to help you, and the outline is geared to help you. Do not use general and weak words like many, most, some, may, could, might. Use strong, specific words like will. Make it a command. Imagine a thesis statement is like you're in the Army, and you have to go over the hill, and the enemy is on the other side. The captain, general, sergeant, whatever he is there, he is not going to say, hey, you guys, come here. I think it may be a good idea if some of you choose to go up that hill, and you could go quietly, whatever way you want, and you climb up that hill, and we might be able to get a victory. He's not going to say that. Consider it a command, what he would say. He's going to say, this battalion, up the hill, 5, take your arms, go up the hill, and march now. There's no doubt about it. You are being commanded. A thesis is like that. You are saying it strongly. You're not saying, oh, maybe it might work. Wildfires might have been caused. It's not. Wildfires are caused. You are the expert when you're writing your own essay. You are the commander, and you make sure that you have the command. No one can doubt you. It's your paper. It is your command. That is one that I will grade hard on, too. You have to get that thesis down. A thesis statement should be debatable. Do you know what I mean by this? Okay, I think a lot of you have heard about these before, but I'm really hard on thesis. There are high numbers of homeless people living in Berkeley, California. Is that a good thesis statement? What do you think? Be courageous and tell me. Is that good? Why is it good? Not good? It's a fact. Could you say it about any city pretty much anymore? Yeah, and am I going to argue with that? Can I argue with that? Oh, no, there's not. There's a low number. Nobody's going to argue with that. You can't. Everybody knows that. Homeless people in Berkeley should be given access to services such as regular food donations, public restrooms, and camping facilities because it would improve life for all inhabitants of the city. Can you argue with that? Yeah, I'm not going to give any food to them. It's their decision to be homeless. Or I don't want public restrooms opened up. Or public restrooms, we should give them a whole barrage of places to stay with showers and stuff. Give them full facility. There's so many things you can argue about with this. But you know exactly what that essay is going to be about. You know immediately whether you're going to agree or disagree. Okay, let's keep going. A thesis statement should show you picked a side. Secondhand smoke is bad and can cause heart disease and cancer. Therefore, smoking should be outlawed in public places, but outlawing smoking is unfair to smokers, so maybe non-smokers can just hold their breath or wear masks around smokers instead. What do you think? Is that good or bad? Kind of obvious. How many think that's really quality thesis statement? Yeah, it's definitely not. Let's look at this one. Secondhand smoke is just as harmful as smoking. That's a big argument right there, and leads to a higher prevalence of cancer and heart disease. Therefore, smoking in any public place should be banned. Can you argue with that? That's the kind I want to see. Strong sentence. There's no maybe, there's no should. It is strong sentences. A thesis statement should show you can back up your claim. Humans should relocate to Mars. This is one of my funnest essays to write or have people write. I get some of the most fun answers on this. But that is not a good essay or thesis statement. Do you see that? It's just kind of a statement that kind of falls flat. And compare it to this one. This is my favorite one I think I've received. It is too late to save Earth. Therefore, humans should immediately set a date for their relocation to Mars, where they can, with proper planning, avoid issues of famine, war, and global warming. We're going. I got the date set. We're going. It's too late. We can't save it. Can you argue with it? Is it strong? You can say, wait. I don't want to miss that. How much is it? But it's strong. It has to be the strongest sentence in your whole essay. Don't be afraid to write strong, because we are conditioned to write, some people may think this, some people not, and I don't want to, I don't want to disrespect you or anything, but essays are a place where it's your opinion. It can't be wrong because it's your opinion. Your opinion. The facts supporting them may be wrong, but your opinion cannot be wrong. So say it with a. This is outside of when we start working on grammar and punctuation issues. Thesis statement is going to be the biggest one I'm going to get you on, because I want you to really have it second nature by the time you leave here, how to write a thesis statement. I always feel dogs coming. Okay, I found this and I loved this. This was really good. Let's just look at this. What time is it?
1:45.
Oh, okay, we got some good time here. In fact, we're going to have a little bit over time. That's good. The thesis statement, engineering majors are sometimes difficult. Now that is very true. I know quite a few engineering majors in my family, and I am a psychologist. I have my master's in behavioral counseling, and engineering and behavioral counseling just kind of don't get along. You know, well, we get along. I use that word loosely, but we don't see things. I don't see things in facts. I see things in feelings. If you come to me and you try to argue about something, I'm going to ask how you're feeling about it. And I'm not going to, but engineering is going to want to know, okay, where's that? Where's that? Where's that? Where'd you get that? They are different people. I don't understand a lot of them. I have them in my family, like I said, and it's like, I don't understand it. But engineering majors are often perceived as difficult, yes, because the students who enter these majors are ill-prepared by their high school courses and have not received the critical thinking skills that result from interactive STEM-based extracurricular. Can you argue with that? I would argue majorly with that. I don't think that's why they're difficult. I think it's a personality thing. It has nothing to do with their training or education. I think engineering, to be an engineering, does anybody here want to be an engineering student? Okay. Write that down and tell me so I'm a little bit warned. And I'll remember. Okay, you gotta remember, Grace. All right, I'm just kidding, don't. But it is not education. It is your personality, or someone in your family, or you know someone, but you like putting things together. I like finding out people's stories. I like knowing what makes them tick or why they react the way they do. Have they always done it, or is there something new? If you talk to me, I will ask for your story. Has your dad always done that to you? Has he always made fun of you when you try to ask a serious question, or else has your mom always insisted you do that? I will ask for the story, and I'll try to get how you're feeling about it. Okay, can you read this one? This one, I liked it, but it's pretty light, so let me read it. A thesis statement should not state two sides of an argument. We already had that, but this is a good example. There are advantages and disadvantages to using nuclear power. Okay, I want somebody to argue with me about that. How can you argue about it? It's very poor. So, and a lot of you will use words like many people think. That is a poor thesis. It does not go in your thesis statement. I want to know how many, if you're going to use the word many. Give me a statistic, give me a how many. Don't throw generalizations at me, because I will throw them right back at you. This could be a topic sentence, but it's not a thesis statement. It gives two sides of an argument without giving a clear opinion of support or disagreement. It could be revised to say, although there are some advantages, using nuclear power has many disadvantages and should not be part of our country's energy plan. They're saying that is strong. I am still saying it's a little bit iffy because I don't think in a thesis statement you should say there are. I think in your essay you can say that. Usually in critical thinking or argumentative essays, you're going to have a paragraph saying the people that disagree with you. But in persuasive, you're not. That's the difference between argumentative and persuasive, and we'll find that out later in the year. Where you find out, it's like argumentative is more like a debate. You know, well, I know you're going to say this, but, and then you have your argument against what they're saying. Persuasive, it's just, this is what's going to happen, this is what is. Okay, and I think I got one more example for you on thesis statements. Convince your reader whether school uniforms should be mandatory in public schools. It is outrageous for students to be forced to wear school uniforms. It says nothing. It says that you are personally outraged. It doesn't say why, doesn't say why it's not a good idea, nothing. Students who are forced to wear school uniforms have their creativity stifled. That's a big statement and holds no facts. When kids grow up, they will have had memories of school. Completely off topic. School uniforms should not be mandatory in public schools because it would stifle students' creativity, take away students' rights, and cause students to lose interest in school. That is strong. I'm going to put these examples on Home Life so you can look at them. And when you struggle with the thesis, you struggle with that introductory paragraph, go look at these, okay? It will really help. Finally, this is three-pronged thesis statements if you're wondering about where to put those three main points. I gave you two examples. We should wear school uniforms because they would help, one, help reduce discipline, two, be cheaper than other clothing, and three, help create school pride. I personally feel that's not a strong thesis statement, but it is acceptable. You will not be marked down if you do that. Two, zoos should be banned because animals need to remain in the wild. Zoos cannot provide natural experiences for animals, and animals in zoos get sick and die. Again, that's good, it's strong, that should is a command, but I think it is relatively weak. Let me give you some strong ones here. The moral of this novel is that love always wins. I think that is strong. I'm saying what I think the moral is. Those running for president should be held to a higher standard of ethical behavior. That obviously is, if I put in the most important point or the most important thing about running for president, those running for president, that would even make it stronger. Because you were saying there's nothing more important, and that would make it more arguable. The vaccine created by our team of researchers is promising in the fight against the virus. I think that's pretty strong. I can see how, could you see how that could be made stronger? How would you make that one stronger? Is what?
Is central in the fight against the virus.
Mm-hmm. What else?
Maybe you could state what the virus actually is, not just...
Mm-hmm. You could. How about how it's promising? It's going to cure. Will cure. Or will. I just think that's a little bit weak. Any questions on thesis at all, or what I'm expecting of you? You already handed out the homework. So I gave you some good options. This is the last one. You're gonna have to do something that's not an essay. Next week we begin essays. This is write 2 introductory paragraphs, a hook, an overview, and a thesis. Hot. Hook, overview, thesis. Isn't that clever? Write a hot introductory. And I gave you lots of ideas. The only one you can veer off of is the first one, as long as it is something current. You can do that, make your own. But make sure it's strong, and I know how you feel about it, and I know what you're talking about. And looking at it, I can tell you what the prompt is. I have a couple things here. These are actual facts I found. I want to tell you some of these. A dime has 118 ridges around the edge. A cat has 32 muscles in each ear. A goldfish has a memory span of 3 seconds. Don't try to teach that goldfish to jump out. A jiffy is an actual unit of time for 1/100th of a second. A shark is the only fish that can blink with both eyes. Al Capone's business card, do you know who Al Capone is? Criminal, mafia, said he was a used furniture dealer. All 50 states are listed across the top of the Lincoln Memorial on the back of the $5 bill. Look at it, it's there, it's crazy. Almonds are a member of the peach family. An ostrich's eye is bigger than its brain. Butterflies taste with their feet. Cats have over 100 vocal sounds. Dogs have only about 10, poor cats. Dreamt is the only English word that ends in the letters MT. February 1865 is the only month in recorded history not to have a full moon. In the last 4,000 years, no new animals have been domesticated. I found that fascinating. If you're an average American, in your whole life, you will spend an average of 6 months waiting at red lights. It's impossible to sneeze with your eyes open. I have tried so many times when I'm driving. Leonardo da Vinci invented scissors. No word in the English language rhymes with month, orange, silver, or purple. Our eyes are always the same size from birth, but our noses and ears never stop growing. That is scary. Peanuts are one of the ingredients in dynamite. Rubber bands last longer when refrigerated. Now these are ones I wanted to, oh no, these are more facts. Stewardess is the longest word typed with the left hand, and lollipop with the right. The average person's left hand does 56% of the typing. The cruise liner, Queen Elizabeth II, moves along 6 inches for each gallon of diesel it burns. The microwave was invented after a researcher walked by a radar tube and chocolate bar melted in his pocket. The sentence, the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog, uses every letter of the alphabet. The winter of 1932 was so cold that Niagara Falls froze completely solid. The words race car, kayak, and level are the same whether they are read left or right, so is mom, dad, none. They're palindromes. There are more chickens than people in the world. There are only 4 words in the English language which end in "dus." Tremendous, horrendous, stupendous, and hazardous. I beg to differ. What's another one? Okay. All right, I guess, okay. There's no Betty Rubble in the Flintstones chewable vitamins. Tigers have striped skin, not just striped fur. Winston Churchill, my hero, was born in a ladies' room during a dance. Your stomach has to produce a new layer of mucus every 2 weeks, otherwise it will digest itself. Oh, golly. All right. Do you want to hear? I don't know if you want to or not, but I have some analogies that students did. Let me just share these with you, if we had a little bit of time. Do we have a little bit of time?
Yeah, 1:56.
Oh, okay. We got, yeah, you're going to have 4 minutes of listening to me read. These are written by actual students. When she tried to sing, it sounded like a walrus giving birth to farm equipment. Yeah, you can certainly picture it. Her eyes twinkled like the mustache of a man with a cold. She was like a magnet, attractive from the back, repulsive from the front. The ballerina rose gracefully on point and extended one slender leg behind her, like a dog at a fire hydrant. She grew on him like she was a colony of E. coli and he was room temperature Canadian beef. She had him like a toenail stuck in a shed carpet. The lamp just sat there like an inanimate object. And my favorite one, let me get that here. This is my favorite one that I probably would not allow you to do. If it was any colder, it would be like being in a place that's a little colder than it is here. Strong, strong words. Okay. Any questions about your homework? What I'm expecting of you? Do some thinking. Really use this as a chance to solidly figure out how to write an introduction. Okay, next week we begin with the fun stuff. I had asked you to bring a balloon. Don't. I had found out that you can't do that, so I will bring something. And you'll find out why I'm bringing it next week. All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, class.
Wow.
What is it? What word? Oh,
I didn't get the homework for today.
okay.
Oh, I'm sorry, you didn't get a homework sheet.
No.
Did I miss anyone?
No, I got here like a little bit later than
Write her down late that she gets docked. I know a lot of points.
last time.
When about my the outline, when I put it online, it got all messed up. So that's probably because I put it down. I saved it as a Microsoft Word document when I put it on OpenOffice.
That's what I
So that's
figured.
because when I tried to do it, the main thing, it wouldn't upload to things. So if I just print it out, I turn it in.
You don't need to. I assumed all of that with the outline, and I gave you full points on it, if you notice, yeah.
All right, cool.
Should I
Thank you so
pause this
much.
recording?
Yeah,